Time to yap. Yo, what is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. 11.4 bonus update notes just dropped. We talked about a few of the things we wanted to see change in last week's video, the Stormseeker and Equinox. Let's see what they did, talk about it a little bit, and go through all the notes. Starting with some bug changes. Not too worried about these ones, but this one I think is something big to note. Well, not that big, but Sphinx's Bauble being 2,800 instead of 2,900 makes it that much more enticing, but compared to an item that was literally dead in the water versus an item that is dead in about 2 seconds in the water, it's not really changing too much. It makes it just barely more enticing, but I still think it's notable that I speak on it. Next up, Equinox. They're very excited about the Katana, the brand new Katana. They think the healing the item provides is very strong in the early game, with the damage scaling too significant toward the late game. So the healing is going down from 2 to 1. The decreased damage per level, though, is going from 3 to 2. So the item basically sees no changes in the healing department. Because, I mean, it's cut in half, but it's cut in half on just the base. The per level is still going to be the exact same. It's just the base. On the current patch, you will be healing 22 health per minion hit, and it's 44 against gods. Now it is going to be 21 at level 20 and 42 against gods. In the early game, though, instead of 3 on minions at level 1, it will be only 2 on minions. Realistically, you're not getting this item until level 5, 6. So instead of healing for 7 health on minions and 14 on gods, it will be 6 health on minions and 12 on gods. Does that change the healing much at all? Not really. The slightly more notable change is the decreased damage per level from 3 to 2. Again, I don't think this really is hitting Katana much at all. I think it'll be, or sorry, Equinox. I think it'll be worse, but when an item is the best item in the game gets worsened, it still could potentially be the best item in the game. I'll have to try it, see how it is, because this is dropping 20 damage in the late game instead of 75, I think it is. 15 plus 3 damage. Yeah, so instead of 75, it's going to be 55, which 20 is a lot, but you're not doing true damage with it. You're doing physical damage. So most of the time, you won't even be doing 75. You're doing maybe, what, 60, 50, whatever it was. Now you'll be doing 50, 40. So Equinox is getting a little nerf. It's still super cheap. It does everything you want it to. Good stats. I'm still picking this item up. It's still very good. But now what I'm more excited for is Stormseeker, because they did 2 things to this item. The power is now 25, and the attack speed per auto is now 0.25%. So instead of costing 6.5 autos to get 1%, it's only 4 autos. So kind of a massive change. To just get 10% attack speed, you only need 40 stacks. A lot of the times you're getting up to 100-ish. I think it's like 80 to 100. So this item is about a 20% attack speed item on average, maybe up to 30% if you want to say 100 is the average. You're getting more base, and you're getting more scaling. Stormseeker is something that I'm going to be trying a lot. It still has this weird problem in duo where hunters can just avoid fighting you. It's why I think this item is probably going to be better in solo lane on Bellonas and Erlangs and stuff like that than it is going to be on the hunters. I also think gods in the jungle like Erlang could be using Stormseeker better than those hunters, because hunters can't really ever force fights. They don't have like the CC to lock down to get a bunch of autos off, and they kill too quickly. But Osiris jungle, Erlang jungle, Bellona jungle, gods that kind of do a lot of damage, but they need a lot of autos to get that damage. Stormseeker is going to fit right in for that. Hydra's Lament, losing 5 physical power on that bonus damage. A little weird, I think. Maybe it's the problem that you see a lot of Jotun's Hydras. Don't know entirely sure why Hydra is taking the hit. Maybe it's just they're just seeing it way too much. Sure. 5% physical power on that ability reset. I described that so bad. That 5% power after using an ability is notable, but it's not really destroying what the item wants. A lot of people, if they're going that cooldown build, mostly just carry it or building this item for that power and the cooldown and the pen. This item just gives you everything. Sun Wukong eating a little nerf, decreased duration from undefeated body, his passive from 12 to 8 seconds, which is very nice. I thought this said the Mickey King.
Oh boy!
Because they were calling him the Mickey solo lane king.
Brain rot.
And then Magic Cudgel is also losing 10%. I'm curious to know if 2 is going to be the max with a nerf like this. There's been a lot of metas where solo laner Wukongs would max the 2. Curious if they kind of go back to that. 10% is a good little amount. So is it enough to maybe max a different ability? Because his 2, his 3, his ult are still broken abilities. His 1 was just the super safe lane clear. Next up, Amuzen Cub. B's eating a small damage scaling nerf from 6 to 5%. And Hive is also losing a little bit of movement speed. I'll say it again. AMC is going to be an issue. Chiron is going to be an issue in mid. Neath is going to be an issue in mid until you nerf Bluestone. Bluestone is just so beyond busted. It doesn't make any sense as an item. I cannot imagine, just for a second, bear with me. Imagine Reaver had another item in the tree. Okay, I know. It's unfathomable. There's another item in the book tree that instead of doing % health max damage, it does % health damage with no cooldown, but it is it 9% Bluestone is right now? 9 or 8%? And the only thing that happened would be after you hit them with that first one, your next one would just be doing slightly half as much, which is still a lot. But imagine Thoth just walking up, wanting everyone on the enemy team one time and just dropping the health bar down to 80%. And then everybody on the enemy team is fighting down 80%. Like, Bluestone is just so busted. You can't play against it if they're playing AMC or Neath. Like, AMC is now in this weird spot where his early game is still really good. His mid game is terrible, unless he's just super far ahead. His late game is not good. And then his late game when he gets his Bluestone, I mean, like his late game before Bluestone is not good. But then when he gets to that late game level 20 with Bluestone, just instantly OP again. That's the issue. Bluestone is the issue, high res. It is not AMC. It is not Neath. It is not Chiron. Bluestone. Next nerf is Thoth. Hieroglyphic Assault is getting 8 to 10 second cooldown nerf. And Glyph of Pain is also losing 5 damage on abilities. Kind of crazy. Yes, you can make this a little bit lower by hitting the abilities, but 2 seconds off reduces a lot of Thoth's poke. And then also on top of that, the damage from that poke is going to be slightly lessened. This is the last ability you max. So a lot of the times it's sitting at 15, but now it's going to be sitting at 10, which is the really, really notable part. Pretty big Thoth nerf. I think his poke is still very high. His build is still very good right now. He's a Mirrodin user, but this is a good little nerf for Thoth. And then cooldown buff, the shifted to flat cooldown reduction from 5% plus 0.75% per level to 10% at all levels. So it's just a lot more simple. It is just 10% cooldown at all levels instead of 5% scaling up to, I think it's 20% or 15%. Scales up to 20%. I didn't know this scaled up to 20%. Okay, that's interesting. So now it is 10% at all levels instead of 5 scaling up to 20%, which is kind of an insane that it was up to 20%. Weird, because it only lasted 60 seconds. A lot of people had full cooldown. But yeah, cooldown, now 10%. But yeah, that's the patch notes, 11.4, bonus updates. I think we'll only have a couple more patches. I mean, I guess I don't even know how many more they're planning on doing, because Smite 2 is right here. May 2nd, we have the first look. I'm going to be live all day on May 2nd, checking out Smite 2. It comes out at 8 p.m. I'll be live from 8 p.m. until sometime the next day, 24 hours planned. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys again next time. Peace.